Imagine walking into a movie theater in 2026, and for the first time in a decade, nobody is looking at their phones. The lights dim, the first snare hit of Billie Jean echoes through the IMAX speakers, and the entire room, literally every single person, stands up. They aren't just watching a movie, they're experiencing a resurrection. Michael Jackson's biopic, simply titled Michael, didn't just break records this weekend, it humiliated the entire Hollywood establishment. We're talking about a trailer that racked up 116.2 million views in a single day, snatching the crown from Taylor Swift. We're talking about a movie that critics tried to execute with a 38% rating, only for the audience to fire back with a near-perfect 96%. But behind the standing ovations and the historic $218 million opening weekend, there's a dark, jagged rift. Michael's own daughter, Paris Jackson, just went nuclear on social media, calling the film a fantasy land built on lies. His sister Janet has gone ghost, refusing to utter a single word of support. And meanwhile, a group of Hollywood's most powerful elites are watching the box office numbers with genuine fear. Something is very off here, and by the end of this video, you're going to see exactly why the industry is panicking. Let's look at the scoreboard, because numbers don't have an agenda. Hollywood executives are currently crying into their morning lattes because Michael just pulled off the impossible. $97.2 million domestic, $121.6 million international, a total global haul of $218.8 million in 3 days. To put that in perspective, it didn't just beat Oppenheimer, it trampled it. Oppenheimer had the prestige, the Oscar buzz, and Christopher Nolan. Michael had a 40% critic score and a first-time actor, and yet the fans showed up in a way we haven't seen since Avengers Endgame. Now compare this to Disney's Snow White. This is where it gets embarrassing. Disney spent an eye-watering $336.5 million on that production. We know the exact number because of UK tax disclosure laws. They couldn't hide the receipts if they wanted to. Snow White opened to a pathetic $25 million globally. After the theaters took their cut, Disney was left with about $12 million against a $336 million bill. That is a $168 million crater in their balance sheet. Why the difference? Because Disney spent $300 million building a movie around messaging that the audience never asked for. Lionsgate spent $200 million building a movie that actually respected the legacy of the greatest entertainer to ever live. The industry thought they could gatekeep what we like. The box office proved they lost the keys. You'd think the Jackson family would be united for this, right? Wrong. The family is currently split into two warring camps. On one side, you have Jackie and LaToya Jackson, who have been out front praising Jaafar Jackson's performance and crying at the premieres. Jackie said it best, "I got so emotional because he became Michael on that screen." But on the other side, there is Paris Jackson, and she is not playing nice. Paris didn't just stay home, she actively distanced herself from the project. She claimed the film panders to a specific section of the fandom and ignores the truth. Why would she say that? Well, follow the money. Paris is currently locked in a brutal legal battle with the executors of Michael's estate, John Branca and John McClane. She's accusing them of mishandling hundreds of millions of dollars. The estate says she's already received over $65 million in benefits. This isn't just about a movie, it's about who owns the truth of Michael Jackson, and Paris clearly feels like the film is a PR tool for the men she's suing. Then there's the Janet factor. Janet Jackson is the matriarch of the legacy now, and her silence is deafening. She hasn't posted a single Instagram story, hasn't done a single interview, and reportedly turned down a massive paycheck to be a consultant on the film. Reports leaked of a heated argument between Janet and her brother Jermaine after a private family screening, while LaToya tried to downplay the rumors, saying there was no problem whatsoever. The fact remains, Janet didn't show up. When asked about it, she gave her classic response, "I'd rather stay quiet and listen." In Hollywood, that kind of silence usually means, "I don't approve, but I'm too smart to start a public war." Now we get to the part that really stings. Let's talk about Oprah Winfrey. In 2019, Oprah sat on a stage and told the world that the Leaving Neverland documentary transcended Michael Jackson. She used her massive platform to frame him in the darkest possible light. Fast forward to 2026, Michael is the biggest cultural celebration of a black artist in cinema history. It's a moment of global black excellence. And Oprah, nothing. Not one tweet, not one mention. The silence tells you everything you need to know about the disconnect between the media elites and the actual public. And she's not alone. Tom Hanks, the man who loves to give moral speeches at every award show, has been completely silent too. But look at who did show up. Stevie Wonder, Magic Johnson, Usher, Raven-Symoné. The legends who actually knew Michael were there. The industry moralists stayed home. The divide has never been clearer. It's like Ricky Gervais saw the future back in 2020. Remember when he stood in front of the most powerful people in Hollywood and told them they were in no position to lecture the public because they know nothing about the real world? After the 2026 Grammys, where celebrities again tried to give political lectures that nobody asked for, Ricky posted that famous photo of his Golden Globes monologue with the caption, "They're still not listening." He's right, they aren't listening. They thought they could tell the world that Michael Jackson was canceled. They thought they could replace classic stories with modern updates like Snow White. But $218 million in a single weekend is the sound of the audience finally talking back. The success of Michael isn't just a win for the Jackson estate, it's a death knell for the critic class. For years, a 40% score on Rotten Tomatoes would kill a movie. It would keep people at home. But with Michael, the audience saw that 38% and said, "We don't care." That gap, the 56-point difference between critics and fans, is the biggest in history for a film of this size. It proves that the gatekeepers no longer have a gate to keep. You don't need a $400 million Disney budget, you don't need the approval of the New York Times, and you don't need a social message in every frame. You just need a story people care about. And that is what keeps studio executives up at night. They realized they've lost control of the narrative. So here is the big question. Is Paris Jackson right? Is this movie just a fantasy land designed to sell tickets, or is it the honest tribute Michael deserved all along? And why do you think Oprah and the Hollywood elite are so afraid to talk about it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one of them. If you want more deep dives into the stories Hollywood is trying to hide, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what we have coming next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.